Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Kara Wada. I am quadruple board certified in pediatrics, internal medicine, allergy, immunology, and lifestyle medicine. I'm also a life coach, and I've been helping people with allergies, asthma, autoimmunity, mast cell disorders, all sorts of glitching immune systems take control of their health for the past nearly 15 years. As someone who lives with autoimmunity, I have Sjogren's disease. I know firsthand how much our environment can impact our health. Today, we are talking about a topic that's become increasingly important for all of us: climate change, wildfire smoke, and the effects it has on our immune system health. While we often associate these tragic and intense wildfires to the west coast of the United States, the reality is that climate change is impacting everyone everywhere. Even here in central Ohio, we have been experiencing hazy skies and poor air quality the last few summers due to wildfire smoke drifting from other parts of the world. And for those of us with allergies, with asthma and autoimmune conditions, especially like Sjogren's, or other inflammatory conditions like mast cell activation, it can make us feel like our bodies are under attack just by breathing the air outside and sometimes even inside our homes. I have personally noticed that my Sjogren's symptoms and asthma symptoms tend to flare up on those days when the air quality is poor. So climate change is more than just a warming planet. Climate change is more than just rising carbon dioxide levels. It is about the cumulative effects of all of these environmental changes on our bodies over the course of a lifetime. It's what scientists call climate exposures. You think of the rising temperatures, but also the extreme weather, those heat waves, those droughts, those huge hurricanes and typhoons, and worsening air pollution that comes along with it. We also have seen the rates of pollen skyrocket here in the Midwest. In particular, levels have increased over tenfold in central Ohio just in the past 2 years alone. Wildfire smoke. Wildfire smoke is a toxic cocktail. It's not just ash and debris from burning trees. It contains hundreds of chemicals, thousands of chemicals, from formaldehyde and benzene to particulate matter so small it can penetrate deep into our lungs and even enter our bloodstream. Each wildfire has its own unique chemical fingerprint, making it even more challenging to understand the long-term impacts it has on our health. Wildfire smoke affects more than just our lungs. It can trigger or worsen asthma attacks, making it harder for us to breathe because of increased inflammation in our airways. Allergy symptoms: itchy eyes, runny nose, sneezing, even hives and skin rashes, worsening eczema. Cardiovascular problems, heart problems, increased risk of heart attack and stroke. And mental health challenges, including anxiety, depression, difficulty concentrating, and sleep disturbances. So who is at the highest risk? And how can we protect them? Certain groups are more vulnerable to the health impacts of wildfire smoke and other climate-related events. In particular, pregnant people. Increased risk of premature birth and other complications are associated with exposure to wildfire smoke. Our children, they have developing lungs, they have smaller airways, they have immune systems that are still very much responding to all that they see and breathe in their environment. They are especially vulnerable. People with existing health conditions, those of us with asthma, heart disease, obesity, kidney problems, cancer, all of these folks are at higher risk as well. And in particular, communities who are impacted by environmental injustice. People from marginalized communities, people from areas that are lower income with limited access to healthcare tend to live in areas that already have environmental issues that put them at higher risk. They may live closer to highways. They may not have safer water. They may be exposed to prior Superfund sites. These groups are disproportionately affected by pollution and other environmental hazards. How can we protect ourselves and our families? Here's what you can do. If you unfortunately, are in an area that is prone to wildfires, keep your ear and your eye to the news and for alerts. Evacuate early. If you are in a mandatory evacuation zone or at high risk, don't wait. Prepare an emergency kit in advance. There are some phenomenal resources that have been posted in the recent months and years because of unfortunate numbers of folks who've been affected by these tragedies. Do your best to minimize exposure. When you're outdoors, make sure you're wearing an N95 mask. These masks offer much better protection than a cloth or surgical mask or a bandana. When you're indoors, use air filters. In particular, if you can, HEPA filters are the most effective. Keep your windows and doors closed as much as possible. You also can change your clothes as soon as you come inside from being outdoors. Make sure to take off your shoes when you come in the house. This will also help prevent you from tracking in that particulate matter that's landed on your body, your clothes, and you're tracking in on your shoes. Managing your symptoms. If you have allergies or asthma, talk to your doctor about using your medications proactively. This means using them before symptoms start. Come up with a game plan together, given your unique history and how your disease has behaved in these circumstances before, or how you might predict that they might behave. Working together can be really helpful in order to prepare for the worst case scenario. Returning home after a wildfire. Make sure to run your water for several hours to clear out potential toxins. This is especially important if you are on well water. Be cautious about letting children play on potentially contaminated surfaces like playgrounds and soil, and it is a good idea to get your soil tested. The long-term impact. The effects of wildfire smoke aren't just temporary. Studies have shown that exposure can alter our DNA, what we call epigenetic changes. These changes can even be passed down to future generations. And beyond the immediate threat, there's evidence suggesting a potential link between wildfire smoke exposure and an increased risk of cancer, lung disease, and other chronic conditions. Monitoring air quality. It's essential to know what you're breathing. You can find real-time air quality data on EPA's Air Now website or app, at least for the time being. Molecule also makes a really incredible air filter that monitors air quality in your home while filtering the air as well. Full disclosure, I do have an affiliate link with them, but it is a good product that I use in my home. For those who want more specific localized readings, you also can find in-home air quality monitors that are provided by companies such as Purple Air and AirThings. These are especially helpful if you live near areas with frequent wildfires or industrial pollution. As a doctor and a patient, living in the Midwest doesn't make me immune, or those of you around me immune, to the effects of climate change. And while we may not be battling flames directly, that wildfire smoke from fires hundreds or even thousands of miles away can drift across the country, impacting our air quality and our health over time. I've noticed more and more patients coming in with worse allergy symptoms on those hazy days, especially summer before last when we had all that smoke coming down from the Canadian wildfires. And this is compounded on those days when the pollen counts are high. Air pollution and pollen make a synergistic effect. That means they feed off one another, and it's not in a good way when it comes to inflammation on our airway. As I mentioned at the beginning, my Sjogren symptoms and asthma symptoms also tend to worsen when the air quality is bad. So I really prioritize those simple strategies for minimizing my exposure, like staying indoors, running my molecule air purifier in my workspace and bedroom, avoiding strenuous activities on those high pollution days outdoors. I'll take that workout indoors. And it's really important for my patients that are dealing with airway disorders, inflammatory disorders, things like Sjogren's, mast cell, and other multiple chemical sensitivity, that we consider these environmental factors as a part of their treatment plan. We talk about ways to cut down on our exposure to everyday air pollution, ways to improve air quality in our homes and our workplaces, managing stress during poor air quality days, paying attention to our hydration levels, and supporting our overall immune system health with a diet that is rich in antioxidants, and avoiding other toxins in our lives, like using a bunch of candles or smoking or vaping, all those sorts of things. So how else can we take action on the greater scale of things? Well, we can't just wait for the next wildfire or the heat wave. So what can we do right now? We can try to reduce our footprint, and even small changes can have a big impact. Is there any way you can walk or bike instead of driving on those days that the air quality is good? Can you carpool with friends? Maybe look into public transportation. Every little bit counts. Conserving energy at home is another simple but impactful step. Turn off the lights when you're not in the room, unplug devices when you're not using them, and choose energy efficient appliances when it's time to replace the old ones. And you can advocate for change. You have a voice. Talk to your local healthcare administrators about going green. Are they using renewable energy? Are there ways to reduce waste at your hospital or clinic? Contact your elected officials and urge them to support climate action and environmental justice. A healthier planet means a healthier you. We are all connected. Our health is inextricably linked to the health of our environment. We can create a healthier future for ourselves and for the generations to come. If you need support and resources on your autoimmune and Sjogren's, mast cell, all the journeys, be sure to join my free Facebook group. I have two: the Success with Sjogren Sisterhood, which all you guys out there with Sjogren's, you're invited to. There's just a lot of us girls, so that's why we call it the sisterhood. But you are more than welcome. We have some great gentlemen in the group as well. And the Becoming Immune Confident community for support, for connection, for reliable sources of information. I'm also accepting new patients at my private direct care practice, and you can find the link to my wait list and learn how to schedule on my website. What are your climate change concerns? What steps are you taking to protect yourself, your family, and our planet? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.